St. Anne Lamott, that is, says there are three great prayers. You know what they are, right? Help, thanks, wow. And I think we have all three covered this morning. I'd say that was wow. And thanks to the choir, thanks for Emmett Cahill. You may recognize him as part of Celtic Thunder that's in town. Thank you so much for... The choir's anthem this morning reminds me of one of my favorite stories. It's a story that Sue Monk Kidd tells about her daughter getting the dubious part, she says, of the Bethlehem star in the Christmas play. Right, this is what you think of my kid, to be the star in the Christmas play. After her first rehearsal, she burst through the door in her costume, a 5-pointed star lined with shiny gold tinsel designed to drape over her like a sandwich board. You get the picture, right? What exactly will you be doing in the play? I asked. She said, I just stand there and shine. I love that. I just stand there and shine. Well, beloved ones, I think we need some of those Bethlehem stars and some of those bright morning stars to do a little shining right about now, don't you? Yes. Amen to that. And here's the thing, before you're too quick to say amen, just know that if you're willing to be one of those stars, the promise is that you will not do so alone. The notes for the anthem include these words from Sean Kirchner, the arranger. He says that he learned this song from a college roommate during a long road trip. When they got bored, they started singing, which is apparently what musicians do. And when he heard this song, he fell in love with it so much so that he made everybody in the car just keep singing it over and over, adding harmonies along the way. He says, I liked the way the song linked the beautiful universal and external imagery of dawn and morning stars to the internal movements of renewal, that day breaking in my soul. I did make one addition to the original lyrics, he writes. The original verses ask, oh, where are our dear fathers? Oh, where are our dear mothers? I added a final verse to which the long-departed fathers and mothers have a chance to ask, oh, where are our dear children? The response? They're upon the earth a-dancing. It's a beautiful image of those who have passed on and those who are yet present upon the earth, calling out to each other across eternity. It's like this last verse is our ancestors asking us, what exactly will you be doing in the play? We're a-dancing. We're shining. The day is breaking. I was thinking of this on Friday night as we were at worship here with our sisters and brothers of the Bet Aleph Meditative Synagogue. We were together to mourn. We were together to remember those who were killed at the Tree of Life Synagogue in Pittsburgh, and the two African Americans, Morris E. Stollard and Vicki Lee Jones in Kentucky. Yet another violent and deadly act aimed at those deemed the other. We were there, as we are this morning, to name the names of those we have lost in our own lives over the last year. And we were there to pray for the light to keep shining on another path, a path where we would not be twisted into the shape of that very same thing, that very revenge and that very hatred that shaped those with guns last Saturday. So we mourned. We embraced each other. and we gave thanks for the gift of life. And then we danced. We danced the hora around this sanctuary. Let it never be said that Baptists don't dance. Sometimes it just takes our Jewish brothers and sisters to get us to do it. There was Dr. Hunter dancing with several of you around this seminary. Now, I use we loosely because, as many of you know, I don't dance. To my great regret, something in that old fundamentalist Baptist DNA just won't release my body to do that. But I did feel something shift in me. I remembered the words of Psalm 30. You have turned my mourning, M-O-U-R-N, my mourning into dancing. See, it's not that dancing takes away the grief. It's not that we pretend that death and violence does not take its toll. It's that we give ourselves over to a movement that shifts the energy toward the light, toward the promise of a dawning that is sure to break, toward each other, regardless of how isolating and lonely death and loss and violence can make us feel. We don't dance alone. Now, I have to say, against the backdrop of all the horrible things that have happened in recent days and that yet may happen, I have received some of those good and perfect gifts James talks about. While Cherry Johnson was waiting with her mother for her mother as she was coming to the end of her life, Cherry sent me a poem. See, I'd been writing her to encourage her, let her know that she was not alone on this journey. And she sent me back a prayer for the morning by Odette Fulbright Fulson. Out of what seemed like nowhere, with death at hand, and the news getting more bleak by the hour, came these words. Did you rise this morning, broken and hungover, with weariness and pain and rage, tattered from waving too long in a brutal wind? Get up, child. Pull your bones upright. Gather your skin and muscle into a patch of sun. Draw breath deep into your lungs. You'll need it, for another day calls to you. I know you ache. I know you wish the work were done, and you, with everyone you have ever loved, were on a distant shore, safe and unafraid. But remember this. Tired as you are not alone. Here and here and here also, there are others weeping and rising and gathering their courage. You belong to them, and they to you. And together, we will break through and bend the arc of justice all the way down into our lives. Wow. I've been reading these words all week. And then the choir sings this morning, the bright morning stars are rising. And then on Friday night, our morning turned to dancing. And you know what? I didn't plan any of these good and perfect gifts. I didn't make them happen. I didn't ask for them. They just came. And I have to imagine that our ancestors, out of centuries of violence and hatred, asked, so what exactly will you be doing in the play? What will you be doing with these gifts? And what part do you see yourself playing in the drama that's unfolding in the world? See, saints inspire us to live more luminous lives, Molly Marshall says. And that's true. But whoever it is that does that inspiring for you, whoever it is that encourages you to just stand there and shine, that person, listen, that person was no more perfect than you are. At the service on Friday night we prayed, may the memory of those who have died be for the world a blessing, and may we never let the light of their life and the light of their love grow dim in our hearts. May all their worthy deeds, even all their human struggles, be remembered now with love. Because you know this, right? Sometimes it's the challenges. Sometimes it's the perfectly placed imperfection. Sometimes it's the brokenness. Sometimes it's the cracks, as Leonard Cohen says, that lets the light get in. So don't be deceived, James says. Every good and perfect gift comes down from the source of light. And those gifts may not look either good or perfect to you at the time, but sometimes, in the light of memory, you can see something that makes you want to go a-dancing. Or to stand and sing, this little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. What exactly will you be doing in the play? Because today, if you hear God's voice, be prepared to strap on those dancing shoes. And if you can't do that, don't worry, just stand there and shine. But whatever you do, for God's sake, for your sake, for the world's sake, do not harden